Now that the nightmare is over, let's focus on the dream and let's focus on the future. Now, is that Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia? Some think so. I'll give my opinion and more coming up next.
I am a huge Jalen Hurts fan.
Yep.
I have said it on this show. I believe that I just see something special in him from everything he's done, the way he carries himself. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of ask you, like, am I right? Like, do you think there's something special about that guy?
100%. And we're talking about Hurts. You got to think about this. You got to think about his background. Won a national championship at Alabama, right? He's in the next national championship that he's in. He wasn't playing his best. He gets benched. National television with Tua. Tua goes, plays lights out. Right now, all of a sudden, this standout true freshman, for Alabama, he's not the star anymore. It's like nobody believed in him anymore. He transfers to Oklahoma, and he lights it up. Yeah. Right. So
Heisman finalist.
Right. When you're talking about a guy like that, that's true adversity. That's a guy who the whole world was with him. Yeah, he's going to be the next best Alabama quarterback ever. And in a split second, he was the worst Alabama quarterback ever. He's trash. And then he had to transfer and he had to rebuild himself up to the point to where now, like you said, how he carries himself, I think that was because of the moment that he had to face. I think it was a humbling experience for him, and it made him a greater leader.
Well, I get excited about that because like that what you just said, that path, I talk about that with him all the time, but you're in the locker room and you're a player and that resonates with you. Like that matters to you that he did that stuff. Yeah. This isn't just like Adam Lefkoe fanboy over here being like, I think he can do it. And what do you mean though, when you said the way he carries himself? How does he carry himself?
In the most humble way, man. That guy comes in literally, and I think we played the Saints. Was it week 12? Maybe, I think
later on. Yeah.
Well, before we started or whatever, and up until that point, of course, Carson is a starter. I kid you not. Literally, after practice, we have Doug would give us about 2 hours. Recovery, eat lunch right before meetings. And literally an hour after practice, I've showered, I've gotten a cold tub, I'm about to go eat lunch. An hour has passed by. And I would literally, through our cafeteria is a big, big glass that goes onto the practice field. You would literally see him out there throwing the ball still. Throwing the ball with one of the assistant quarterback coaches, working on his mechanics, working on his throws, working on rolling out, and I'm like, yo, Jay, you got 45 minutes now to hurry up and eat and shower and get to the meetings. But that shows you that he was preparing himself to where if there ever was a moment to where he got into the game, he wasn't a guy who was like, okay, Carson's a starter. I'm just brought here to be the backup. They're going to give me 3-4 plays a game. I'm going to be running read option, running the ball. It was like, no, I'm preparing myself to be a starting quarterback to make all of these throws. And I think it showed that game. He actually played the back end of the Green Bay game.
Yeah.
We almost won, but Aaron Rodgers, of course, he's magical.
He's Aaron
Rodgers.
And then
the Saints game against that defense, they were top 5 defense, and we actually won that game. So
they were the number 1 defense in the NFL when you guys played them.
Okay. Yeah. So you're talking about –
Dude, I talked to Craig Robertson on that defense, and he said after the game, we were not ready for how fast he was. And also, he goes, I've played the Eagles a lot. I have not seen him with that much energy, and I felt like he brought that energy to the –
To all the Philadelphia fans, it's always sunny in Philadelphia. Look, you guys have Jalen Hurts. I mean, not many teams can trade away their franchise quarterback who's already signed a $100 million contract and already have a quarterback right there in the building that's ready to lead. And look, we talk about the quarterback position more than any other position on this network, and rightfully so. I get it. But the one characteristic as a teammate that my quarterback needs to have is you got to be a leader, and I got to be willing to follow. So can Jalen Hurts lead this team? Absolutely. I think we saw in the short sample size that we've seen from Jalen that he does just that. Man, he commands a huddle. A locker room gravitates towards him. So I have no doubts whatsoever that he could lead this team.
No doubts.
He's a great leader. Now, he does do something better than Carson Wentz. I think he's a much better passer out of the pocket. He's much better on the move than Carson Wentz was. That's something that he struggled with. Carson was a much better pocket quarterback. But when you look at what Carson Wentz did last year and what happened to him, this offense was a train wreck. And up front, they struggled to block people. Carson held on to the football. He was sacked 50 times, more than any quarterback in the NFL last year. And he only played in 12 games. All right, that doesn't happen if you're not have a quarterback that's pressing and that's holding on to the ball. So that is going to change. Obviously, they're going to do a much better job up front protecting the quarterback. But when you look at Jalen Hurts, his ability outside the pocket, if you've got some offensive linemen that are struggling, that's definitely a luxury to have.
My experience with Jalen Hurts, and it's courtesy of Mike Robb at the Combine last year. You introduced me to him.
Yeah.
And I did a short interview with him for my notebook that I file from the Combine in most years. And I remember these 5 words Jalen said to me, and he said it with complete eye contact. He said, "My game has no ceiling." And I was in. Listen, this is a guy with a lot of charisma, and I know charisma doesn't win football games, but it can in part win a locker room, and I've seen it happen enough times that I can say that with certainty. And I do believe that. What is stunning to me is that the Eagles misread their own room.
Mm-hmm.
They had to have thought Wentz could handle Hurts coming in, and he couldn't. Mm-hmm. And they also thought that Wentz would still be able to function as their franchise quarterback, and he didn't. Well, and that says more about Wentz than it does about Jalen, except that Jalen's the only one left standing in Philly.
And it's crazy you say that because Nick Foles was there just a year earlier, and they got Nick Foles out of there because of that same issue.
Right.
So it is mind-boggling that,
They misread their own room, Mike Robb. That's what I can't get over. It's one thing if we sit here and misread their room. They misread their own room. And here's what I would tell you about Jalen, and I know you know this stuff, but at that Combine, Neville Gallimore, the big defensive tackle, nose tackle out of Oklahoma, I asked him about Jalen because Jalen came over from Tua in Alabama for his final year at Oklahoma. And Gallimore said this to me, and I haven't forgotten it. He said all Jalen talked about when he got here was team goals. He said if ever there was a guy who could have fixated on the individual and gotten away with it, it was him in that situation. 1 year at Oklahoma, then I'm going to the NFL. And he was all about the team. Again, a quarterback has to win the room, Sean. You know this, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Carson Wentz nightmare is officially over, and now in the present, we look forward to the future. But is the future quarterback Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia? As you just heard, there are some that definitely think so. And look, I'm going to go out there and say I am also one of them. I think that if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you should absolutely build around Jalen Hurts. Now look, when he was selected in the second round of last year's draft, it shocked everybody, including me. My draft reaction is actually in the archives if you want to check that out. Because the Eagles had already paid Carson Wentz or signed him to a contract extension, a $128 million contract extension. In the second round, we expected them to help out their defense or get somebody else that they could put around Carson. They went the other route and went to Jalen Hurts, not thinking that this would cause an absolute quarterback controversy. And the fact, there's just, to me, the people at the Novacare complex, for them to say, and Howie Roseman specifically, that he didn't think this would cause a controversy is absolutely mind-numbing to me. Jalen Hurts was a very accomplished college quarterback, won a national championship with Alabama, got benched, literally dug himself out of the grave, went to Oklahoma, was a Heisman Trophy finalist. Now, look, there are obviously some parts of his game that aren't as good as the others. He came into the NFL, and when I saw him throw the ball, I was shocked because I didn't expect him to throw it as well as he did. He can obviously run the football. He's got everything that modern NFL, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson type quarterback has. But to me, and what we heard in the beginning of this video, the most important thing to me that Jalen Hurts has is leadership. He's able to win a room. The work ethic. You heard Jalen Mills say, look, this guy is outside when we're all supposed to be getting showers and rest before the meetings, and he's out there working. These are things that your $128 million quarterback, you would expect that from. And here is your rookie second-round pick out there just working. And you hear it from everybody that's played with him. The kind of guy, the kind of leader that he is. And as Kim Jones said, look, charisma doesn't win championships or win football games, but I think it's definitely a good intangible to have. And again, he has it. I've said this in videos in the past to where, like, I think he's got some stud in him. I think he's going to be a stud-like quarterback. I mean, and to me what that means is he has that it factor. You know, the eyes don't lie. And look, again, my eyes didn't lie. I didn't think they were lying to me when I watched Carson Wentz in 2017 or even in 2019 bring a team of practice squad guys into the playoffs. And he was the worst quarterback in the league last year, 34th ranked quarterback in the league. So, yeah, sometimes first impressions can be misleading, I guess. And again, there were a lot of reasons why Carson was as bad as he was, and we've already absolutely strangled that topic. So I won't get into it here. But I think, again, you got to listen, like what Jalen Hurts came into last year, too. The situation with Carson, the fact that the Eagles had 15 different variations of an offensive line, the first time that happened since 1984. And his first game is against the best defense in the league. The fact that he came out of that game not only looking pretty damn good, but with a W, and then, again, toe-to-toe with Kyler Murray, being put in a situation where you're fighting for the division that you have you shouldn't have had any shot of having to begin with. And again, the guy had poise. He looked like he had been a starter in the NFL before. He did not look like a rookie at times. I know the numbers are not good. 6 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, a little over 1,000 yards. QBR wasn't exactly that great, but again, you have to look at what was around him. The fact that he was a rookie, and the fact that he looked better in that situation than your 5-year veteran franchise, $100 million quarterback. I just think it says something about Jalen Hurts, and I expect big things from him. Now, look, I don't know if the Eagles are going to draft a quarterback at 6. That's, again, I'm going to do a video about that, about all the options that we have at 6, because we have a lot of them. However, and I think if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, if I'm staying with that pick at 6 and not trading back for more picks, there's so many holes on this team, that's a possibility as well. I'm going to do something to build around Jalen Hurts. I'm going to pick if Jamar Chase is there, I'm going to grab him, or Devontae Smith is there, I'm going to grab him, or even, and call me crazy, even the tight end out of Florida, Kyle Pitts. I'm going to get an electric star player to put on this offense with Miles Sanders and Dallas Goedert and possibly Jalen Reagor if he breaks out of his shell. And I'm going to try to build around Jalen Hurts, probably what the Eagles should have done with Carson Wentz. I mean, look, the drafting of J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and even not drafting Justin Jefferson last year, and again, we've kind of beat that to death, did not help Carson or the Eagles at all. They've got to do a better shot at that to help this kid. But like I said, guys, Jalen Hurts, the stories about his leadership, what I've seen of him in the media, he's just got that it factor and all those intangibles that make a good player great. Will he be great? It's yet to be seen, but if I was a betting man, I'd put my bet, and I'm not, by the way, I'd put a bet in for Jalen Hurts. I just see it. And I'm going to guess that the Eagles saw it as well, which is why they, let Carson Wentz go to the Colts with basically no fight at all. With that being said, guys, I think the future is bright with Jalen Hurts. I know there are a lot of fans out there, subscribers, that will disagree with me, and that's fine. Leave your comments in the comment section. Again, man, this is what this kind of platform is for, to debate and discuss this stuff. And most of the time, I'm going to probably be more wrong than I am right, and that's fine too. But I'm down with Jalen Hurts. I'm on board with Jalen Hurts, and at the same time, if the Eagles are to draft a quarterback at 6, I don't know if I'll be that broken if it's a guy like Zach Wilson. But again, that's another video for another day. Everybody stay safe out there. Stay healthy as always. Go Birds. I'll see you later.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I need Eagle Nation to stand.